Hello, everyone. This is Lord Zath. I wanted to just, you know, we did a ranked talk a few days ago. Actually, it was over a week ago now, and it was really awesome. But at the same time, I kind of felt like I just didn't get a chance to really talk that much about ranked. And so I kind of want to do it again. But this time, I just want to do it myself. And so, no offense to people who joined in before, but I kind of feel like there's a lot that I want to get off my chest with ranked, and I kind of feel like if I don't just lay it out there, then it's not going to get out there in a efficient and easy manner. So you're welcome to listen to the ranked chat if you would like. You don't have to. You're welcome to listen to other people. You don't have to. You can do what you want. I'm gonna kind of stick around in the port and kind of talk about some of the ships and stuff, like I did before. But I'm gonna try to talk a little bit more about what I see happening in this season of ranked and why it's so important. Okay, so and while this is going on, I'm going to pull up the ranked announcement as well. This is an update 7.4. It's got the information about the maps, and the maps are kind of really important. Maybe not so much for tier 8. Maybe, I don't know, definitely for tier 10. But anyway, so let's talk about tier 8. And well, there's carriers, right? So for those people that bought the Graf Zeppelin and hung on to her through thick and thin, well, now they've got a very fun ship that can do some really good damage in ranked. With it being a 7-on-7, there's 6 enemy surface combatants, and you know what? If you run the 203 setup here with 3 dive bomber squadrons, you put them all together, you drop all at once, even if it's an auto drop. You can kill a carrier, or you can one-shot a carrier that's running defensive fire. I've done it to the Lexington before. I've one-shotted a Minotaur. So I mean, this is going to be a very fun ship in ranked, and to be honest, I'm probably going to play it a lot just because it's fun, and because up to rank 10, I really don't care, So that's going to be my pick for carrier. Now, if you don't have a Graf Zeppelin, Shokaku, Enterprise, just like the last time it was tier 8, are both going to be good offerings. Enterprise probably has the edge in fighters and spotting. I think part of the big reason why is because of the aircraft capability. 96 units, 96 aircraft is just insane at tier 8. You compare that with 72 for the Shokaku and 72 for the Lexington, and even with the Graf Zeppelin 72. Enterprise is definitely going to be the king of air superior, air dominance. Oh, and it's also got bombers too. So, as far as AP versus HE, yeah, it's up to you. I don't know. But now that I mentioned that, I want to talk briefly about what to do when you play ranked if you don't like carriers. Personally, here's a pro tip with you, and I'm going to try to intersperse a lot of my tips for ranked throughout the talk. Here's one tip for you right now. If you see 2 carriers in the queue, get the F out of queue. When I queue in, when I click the battle button up here, I have my finger over the escape key. It's a lot quicker than going down and hitting back to port. My finger is right over the escape key. As soon as I see 2 carriers in the port, I am punching that escape key as fast as I can because I want to get out of that matchmaker queue. It saved me a lot. Last season of ranked battles, I had 0 games of carriers in them. 0, absolutely none. And why is that the case? It's because carriers add such a different dynamic to the game, and there's always, in my experience, there's been one really good enemy carrier and one not so good friendly carrier. And it could be the opposite too, right? You could have that really good friendly carrier and really not so good enemy carrier. But the problem is that has such an impact on the battle. I could, if I've got a really good carrier, if I got a super Unicum carrier player on my team, in an Enterprise or Graf Zeppelin, and the enemy has, you're going to see this a lot, has a Lexington, and they've got like a 30% win rate in it, you know what? I might as well just walk away, go have dinner, and come back and have won a star. Because it's that lopsided, especially in a small 7-on-7 engagement. So I watch the queue very carefully. If I see one carrier get in a queue, I'm like literally ready at a moment's notice to hit the escape key. So my prediction, I told you the carriers that are good. Lexington, oh god, I love the Lexington. This is my favorite carrier in the game. I just love how she looks. She's just so goddamn gorgeous, but you know what? She's not competitive. Especially now that they changed her loadout to include one fighter squadron, one fighter squadron, one torp squadron, and 2 dive bombers. I don't care that the dive bombers can equip AP bombs. Her potential is just completely wasted. The only way that she can possibly win against an enemy carrier is if a Graf Zeppelin takes the 1-2-1 loadout and his 1 fighter squadron there. These are tier 7 fighters versus Lexington's tier 8 fighters. They can probably defeat the tier 7s in a 1-on-1. And the Graf Zeppelin does not have much in the way of reserves for fighters. So that's the only thing that I can see happening at the carrier level there. But like I said, I just avoid them as much as I can. Let's go on to battleships. Everybody says, what do you want to play? Notice I said not picks. What do you want to play? I'm going to tell you ships that I think are going to be good. I'm going to tell you ships that I think are going to be fun. And to be honest, you, the player, needs to decide what to play. And I'll get more on that in a little bit. I'm going to talk a lot. Sorry. Alright, if you've got an Alabama, Alabamas are very popular. We saw that in the last season of Ranked. Why? Well, one, the armor layout. It's got 32mm plating, 38 up on the top here, and 38.2 in the back. So, and then 32 on the armor belt. So the deck here gets the 38mm, which means it cannot be penetrated by IFHE 152mm ships like the Kutuzov or the Chapayev, or 203 non-IFHE cruisers like Charles Martel, Atago, etc., etc. The bow, the stern, and the armored belt here on the side can be penetrated, and of course the superstructure too. So, it's a very popular pick. Also, it's got really good torpedo defense system at 50%. It's shorter than the North Carolina. Negative, of course, is the guns have less sigma, less accuracy, whatever. So, it's a good all-around ship. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret that carried me all the way up to rank 5 in the Charles Martel. I actually equipped IFHE on my Charles Martel because I was looking at what ships were popular. And the Alabama Super Test and the North Carolina were both incredibly popular. Again, both have the 32mm bow and belt, but look at the deck, 37 and 38mm on the Bama. So take 203mm, divide by 6, and then multiply by 1.3. What do you get? 203 divided by 6. I'm doing it right now for you. Times 1.3 is 43.98, 44mm of penetration, which means now you can penetrate the deck. You have no idea how many battleships that I saw just sat there and thought that they were invulnerable to my HE spam, and then they found themselves just losing hit points. Why is that so important too? Because remember that Repair Party can repair 100% of fires, but only 33% of penetrations, I think? Or is it 60%? Either way, it's a smaller amount of damage that can be repaired. So the damage that you're doing with IFHE, even in 203s, that's sticking part of it. So that's really, really handy. Gascon, we talked about it in the ranked chat. I don't see this being that popular, that useful of a ship. It's got 32mm all over the place, just like the key. Please don't take the key out. It's got torpedoes, which is fun, but it's going to get citadeled and wrecked pretty easily. Amagi, look at this, 32, 32, 32. Even the torpedo bolts at 25. Everything is going to get penned, except for the turrets, by IFHE cruisers or 203mm cruisers. I had a Charles Martel just whittle me down to nothingness. Okay, so what about a Tirpitz and a Bismarck? Those could work. Again, the front plating and the rear plating are, you know, gonna take penetration, but 50mm protects you, and of course the belt on the side protects you too. So these are solid ships to take, obviously. So, and then there's the Monarch. Monarch, if you look at deck, 32, 32, 30, you see what I mean? So it's got the armored belt, which means it'll take a few fewer HE penetrations, but I just don't see the Monarch being that competitive. And let's go to the Richelieu, 32mm all around. See where I'm going with this? Now again, and then last season I didn't get a chance to play it because unfortunately I ranked out before it got released, but there's the Roma with 45mm deck, so IFHE 203s can't even penetrate that. And then you've got your 32mm deck armor and that sort, or bow and stern plating. So this ship can be fun. I've struggled with her a lot personally. I don't really like her, but time to get into my little disclaimer caveat. Anytime that I'm recommending a ship, that's how I play her and how I feel the ship is when I play her. That doesn't mean that that's what you should take. So keep that in mind. Okay, there is one cruiser that can HE pen the deck. Actually, two. That can HE pen the deck of this ship. It can even HE pen the deck of the Bismarck and the deck of the Tirpitz. I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. 1, 2, 3. You ready? The answer is Prince Eugen and Hipper. The German ships have 203mm guns, correct? So what is 203 divided by, oh wait a minute, that's right, they don't go by 6, they have a rule of 4, so it's 203 divided by 4, that's 50.75. Wargaming rounds that up to 51mm of HE pen, which means, this ship will penetrate through HE the decks of the Tirpitz and the Bismarck and the Roma. So these ships, I think, are going to be very interesting this season in ranked simply because they just got buffed. The Prince Eugen now has a repair party. That's right, folks. It has a heal right there. Boom. You know what? While I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna put my premium up there. Boom. All right. So it's got the heal now. Now it doesn't mean that you are invincible, but what it does mean is you can heal back some of the damage that you take. This ship is pretty decently armored. I mean, 27mm on the side. Now, overmatch. Let's talk overmatch. 27mm times 14.3 is the overmatch mechanic. 386.1. So you need a ship with greater than 386mm of penetration. So let's go back to the battleships for a second and let's look at the guns. Alabama Super Test. 406. It will overmatch. Roma, 381. What did I say? 386.1. Roma will not overmatch. Gascon, where is it? 380. Will not. Amagi also has 410, actually. So it's a little bit bigger than Alabama and North Carolina. So Amagi and Key will also overmatch. Okay? Tirpitz, 380 will not overmatch. Richelieu, 380 will not overmatch. Monarch, 381 will not overmatch. So what that means is that when you are in a German cruiser, Prince Eugen or the Hipper, because I believe their armor schemes are very similar. Oh, the Hipper's actually got a little bit better belt here. Yeah. So when you're playing that cruiser, if you're up against a ship that will overmatch, that shell can come in and hit you right there, can hit you right here, can hit you right here, whatever, it doesn't matter. Even if you're bow on like this, it can hit you right here, and that will just plow right through the plating. All right, it doesn't give a damn about your angle. It'll go right in. Now, if it hits this 40 millimeter plate, yes, it will bounce, twing, and go off. But you're taking a bit of a risk of it going right there. So against one of those battleships, you almost want to show more of a side like this, and then when they fire, turn like this. All right, you want to be kind of doing something like this. You want to make it so that the armor hits like your 80 millimeter belt here or whatever. Okay. Just something to keep in mind. It can bounce if it hits the right spot. Okay. I'm gonna drop this for a sec. You'll notice also it's got that turtleback citadel, which is kind of nice to protect your cruiser a little bit. But let's face it, your cruiser, you're squishy as all heck, so you're not playing this for citadel protection. And I'm going to tell you, if you're going to play these two ships, you want to play them as far away as possible. 17.7, 17.5 kilometer is your max range. You want to be at 15 to 17 kilometer from enemy battleships and just spamming HE on them. You're going to set fires. You're going to penetrate their deck armor, whatever it is they've got. You know, you're basically playing it like Charles Martel. Okay, similar idea there. So Charles, Prince, Hipper, these are fun cruisers. Kutuzov, of course, is a staple in ranked. I don't like her for ranked though, and the reason I don't like her for ranked is because of her concealment when she's firing in smoke. 7.7 kilometers is a huge penalty for firing in smoke, and so she needs to be, once again, just like the Eugen and the Hipper and the Charles, she needs to be at max range until it's safe to come in. Again, my opinion, my way of playing the game. Takao is a very strong option for tier 8 cruiser, always has been, always will be, because it's got the heal, it's got defensive fire or hydro, it's got the plane, it's got really good penetration, the AP on this is sick, the HE's got really good fire chance, it's got torpedoes that face forward. So there's a lot of good things going for it. All right. There it is. So keep that in mind. However, it's got 25 millimeter armor. Now we just did 27, didn't we? We did. So what's 25 times 14.3? That's 357.5. So you need 356 or 358 millimeter guns to be able to penetrate. That's, guess what? Every single battleship at tier 8 will be able to penetrate the bow. If you go bow on like this, it'll penetrate the bow. I'm going to drop the bow for a second. It'll go through, and it's going to hit the main battery, barbette armor, or the Citadel thwartship, and it's going to penetrate, and you're going to lose almost all your health. There's actually an Otago replay on my channel from last season of Ranked. I think it's IHSM. Check it out. You'll see that he gets penetrated hard right through here. He almost completely gets one-shotted, so that he can get a torpedo strike on. I think it's in North Carolina. So you got to keep that in mind. Again, torpedo arcs, it can fire up to the front like this, so it's a very dangerous ship for pushing. It's also really good with long range spam as well. It has really good concealment, so you can go back into stealth mode relatively easily. Edinburgh, if you want to play the most difficult cruiser at tier 8, here you go. Take the Edinburgh out, and if you don't die in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, consider it a success. This ship is amazing at countering destroyers. The AP on this is just sick against destroyers. It's got hydro, it's got smoke, or you could go for radar if you want to. It's got the heal. So it's got a lot of good things going for it. The problem is the armor is so weak. Everything pretty much overmatches it, except the belt armor here. If you can bait shots onto your belt, you'll be okay. But I mean, let's face it. This thing here. I'll show you the Citadel if you don't know already. There's your Citadel. I mean, come on, 6mm armored Citadel deck. It's a joke. So keep that in mind. Those are all the cruisers. Let's move on to the destroyers. And I'm doing this for you guys because I know that some of you are probably only going to play up to 10 and stop playing. And that's a real shame, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But anyway, Destroyers. Loyang, of course, will be the king, queen, whatever, because of Hydro. We've talked about that before. You've seen it before. Harikaze, I don't know. You could play it. I've seen people do okay with it. Personally, at that point, I'd rather have the Akizuki because I get the extra gun. And I think there's more hit points. 20,400. Oh, yeah, there's a lot more. 7,000 more hit points? Frick, you just go for this. Akizuki with the Daka 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 will be really good. Kagero, you could do it. I'm not a big fan of the Japanese destroyers, so I don't know. You can play them if you want. Again, your playstyle. Benson's, you know, it's a solid all-around ship. B-Hull is good because you get that other turret up here. B-Hull. Because you get that other turret right there. But you lose defensive fire, and you gain engine boost. So, I mean, that's going to be a good factor. It's got 9.2 kilometer torpedoes, so that's nice. Besides that, I don't know. It's an okay ship, but if I've got the kid, I might want to take the kid because it's got the repair party. Repair party is kind of nice. It's also got the ability to mount defensive fire or engine boost. Personally, again, this is personally, if I can take defensive fire on a ship, even in ranked, I'm going to do it. Speed boost, I don't know. I don't see it being that effective. Whereas defensive fire, you know what? Even in a game without carriers, if you go up against a cruiser that's got a scout plane, you get spotted, pop your defensive fire and shoot that thing down as quickly as possible. Just a general suggestion for you. But anyway, this is basically a down-tiered Fletcher. One big problem with it is its torpedoes. It's only got one set of torpedoes. So you're doing this more as a gunboat compared to like the Benson or the Loyang. Kiev, there's always a special heart in the Kiev for me. You're playing this as a pure gunboat. Can be good, can also not be good. One problem that the Kiev has is, well, it has no heal like the Kava. And the smoke, I often find the smoke actually kind of trolls me. Because I'll pop the smoke and I'll think I'm safe, and then, nope. So you have to be really, really careful about how you use the Kiev. Ognavoy. David loves it. Most other people do not. It's up to you if you want to use this or not. It's got 10-kilometer torpedoes, however, which means they outrange every other destroyer in the game except for your Kagero, your Akizuki, and Harikaze. So it's got that going for it. Torpedoes reload relatively quick as well. So, you know, that can be a good ship. Z-23, even though the Loyang Hydro over, oftentimes people think that that's it. Keep in mind that this ship can mount 150mm guns. 150mm guns are incredibly useful for penetrating armor on broadside cruisers, that sort of thing. Pro tip for you: mount IFHE for it. Then you've got 150mm guns. That now, let's see, 150 divided by 6. Multiply, that's 25 by the way, multiply by 1.3 is 32.5, rounding up to 33, which means that this ship can penetrate 32mm deck armor. Let's go back to those battleships again. See where I'm going with this? You can penetrate deck armor on battleships. So that's really useful. The torpedoes reload relatively quick. Actually pretty darn fast. They also outrange the American destroyer torpedoes. It's got Hydro, so you can camp in your own smoke or other smoke, and you can use Hydro to protect yourself. You've got speed boost, which is okay. So this is a pretty fun ship. Don't discount it at all. And then that just leaves us with the Hsian Yang, which is basically a Benson, but with the ability to take the Pan-Asian destroyer smoke or radar. Personally, I don't know that the radar is going to be that functional. And it's got deep water torpedoes. In ranked, the problem with that is that you simply do not have the ability to knife fight enemy destroyers as easily. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that. I don't know how I feel. Okay, so we just went through the tier 8 ships. And real quick, why is that a shame that you're not going to push on past rank 10? It's a real shame because there's so much more to the game past 10. It's when you get a lot of really good players. It's when you get a lot of mediocre players, to be quite honest. And it's when you get a lot of the yo-yo mechanics. That being said, every time you work on ranked, you get better as a player. And I honestly feel that 10 to 5 bracket is where you start to get really good at learning mechanics of the game. And besides, you never know where you're going to end up in ranked, and the rewards are decent. I wouldn't play it for the rewards. I would play it just because who knows, right? Why not? Ranking out 3 times gets you a flint. This ship is stupidly fun. Like, seriously. I'm trying to pull it up, but port UI. Here we go. The flint is just the absolute fun ship. It's got smoke. It's got 9.2 kilometer torpedoes. It loses 1 gun on each side, or 2 guns, but it's just fun, and it's free. It's basically Atlanta, but without as much of the risks that you would normally have taking the Atlanta out. So why the heck not? Go for it. Try to rank out if you haven't already done so. And then, of course, at tier 9, there's the black, which I don't have yet. I'm hoping to get it this season. So yeah. All right. Before I get to 10, I want to tell you a couple of things that will help you prepare for ranked. First of all, it may look like the season is halfway over at rank 10. It's not. Not even close. If you want to rank out, you are nowhere near done at rank 10. Okay? When you get to rank 5, I used to tell people you're halfway through the season, and then guess what? I got stuck at rank 5 for a long time, like 2 weeks. So you know what? Rank 5 is a third of the way through the season. So look at your stats when you get to that level in rank. Summary. And I'm going to go to ranked battles, and I'm going to go to the 8th season. And when you look at your position, once you get to there, I got to rank 5 at about 50 battles. And look, I'm at 152 to rank out this season. Here's 197 in the 7th season. Notice the difference there. Look at the win rate and how it pairs up. 125 in season 6. Oh, that was great. 5th season took me almost 200 games to rank out in the 5th season. And here we go, 4th season, close again. 3rd season, I gave up. And then the 2nd season was the first time I ranked out. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Look at this. It's taking me 200 battles, between 150 to 200 battles to rank out. You have to set aside time to play this. You have to give up playing randoms for a while. Seriously, like, just focus on ranked if you want to rank out. And notice, I mean, that's a relatively high win rate. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to be an elitist or anything here. I think my lowest win rate was a 53%. And if you look at my average XP per game, except for the first season that I ranked out, is pretty high. Here's the 4th season at 17. Ew, this one was pretty bad. This one was pretty bad too, but look at how quickly I ranked out. That's weird. But you get what I mean. Like, ooh, this one was cool. It's these two factors play into how many battles it's going to take. People have played 1,000 battles to rank out. People played 300. I'm going to say something real quick. There are people that are like, oh, well, I'm better than this. I'm not going to play 200 battles to tell me I'm good. Get over yourself. All right? I'm just going to put that out there right now. Nobody gives 2 S's about how well or poorly you played in ranked. All that matters is that you ranked out. I have more respect. Honestly, seriously, I have more respect for somebody who played 1,000 battles of ranked to rank out than somebody who played, 100. I'm dead serious here. This is somebody that is constantly playing over and over and over and over again. In all these seasons of ranked battles, I've played just over 1,000. I cannot fathom the fortitude required of a player to play 1,000 battles, of constantly hitting that battle button, of constantly winning or losing. And, to be honest, like, you can look at them and say, "Oh, well, you're a terrible player. You're garbage. Blah blah blah. Get out of here. Stop playing. You're dragging me down, etc., etc." But you know what? This is somebody that cares that much that they're gonna play this game that much. They deserve credit too. So I'm just putting that out there. Get over yourself. Play as many games as it takes to rank out. All right. There's another of my suggestions. Also, don't look at the star screen in between battles, okay? Like, a lot of people will stare at that and freak out. Oh my god, I just lost a star, and they start raging. When you start raging, you're gonna have problems. So just putting that out there. All right, let's talk about carriers. You only have 2 options, and really, now that the midway's been nerfed, there's really only 1 option, and that's gonna be the Hakuryu. Unless you're really, really good at playing carrier, please don't play carrier. All right, I'm just saying it right now. Ranked is not where you go to learn carrier skills. And like I said before, if you see carriers in there, GTFO. Battleships. I'm missing one. Sorry, but I don't have it yet. That's the Republic. Republic is going to be a really, really strong option at tier 10. Because it's got really good penetration and it's got very fast guns. So against cruisers, it's going to be an ultimate cruiser killer. Here's the problem with ranked. Ranked doesn't have a lot of cruisers. Most cruisers die so easily because all of these ships can overpen the bows and of pretty much, I believe, yeah, all the cruisers except for the Hindenburg. It's just, you're not gonna play cruiser, especially at tiers 5, at ranks 5 to 2. You're gonna play destroyer. You're gonna play battleship. That's how it's gone just about every season of ranked. So what does that mean for you? That means for you, you want to be playing a ship that kills battleships or destroyers, not a battleship that kills cruisers. Okay, so personally, that means Republic is not as strong in my opinion. Montana, very strong. It does stupid things to destroyers, and it does really good things to broadside battleships. So Montana is definitely a good pick. Kurfürst does stupid thing to destroyers and can also do stupid things to broadside battleships. Has more armor plating, if I recall, yeah, 50mm deck armor compared to Montana, and it's 38mm deck armor, 32 on the bow still. It's got the secondaries. Secondaries are fun. Secondaries will save your butt against destroyers, so that's useful. It's got the hydro, so you can push and be more aware of of torpedoes and stuff. So Kurfürst can be a fun ship. I don't know it's the strongest, but it can be fun. Conqueror is hands down the best anti-battleship battleship. So if there's a lot of Conquerors, a lot of battleships in the queue, take out the Conqueror and just go and burn the world down. It's got really good HE against destroyers as well. And then we come to the Yamato. Only take the Yamato if you can take Yamato's guns and you are incredibly accurate, pinpoint accurate at shooting destroyers at, say, 10 to 15 kilometers. If you can't do that, you have no business taking the Yamato. Okay? Just saying that. Just putting that out there. Again, feel free to play what you want to play. All right, moving on to just 2 cruisers. I'm set destroyers. I'm gonna skip the cruisers altogether because, whatever. Minotaur, again, just like I said about the Edinburgh, this is gonna be like the skill ship. If you're incredibly skilled, take this. If you want to focus your brain so hard that every game of ranked you need to walk away and take a 10-minute break, take the Minotaur. Okay, just saying. And take radar. because lol. If you want to stay sane, though, my personal pick for cruiser is going to be Hindenburg. Long range spammy, plus 203s can penetrate 50mm deck armor. Remember I said that before? Let's go back to the battleships real quick. Montana, deck armor, penetrated. Kurfürst, deck armor, penetrated. Conqueror, deck armor, penetrated. Yamato, deck armor. Oh, not penetrated. Sad face. And I believe the Republic would be as well. Let's see if I can do it. I've got the extended tech tree mod, so you're gonna see some ships in here that are not in your mod right now. And no, I'm not clicking on them because I'm a super tester and I like my job. France, come on. France. Republic. It's got 32mm deck armor. And so, you know, going back to the Hindenburg, yeah, it's gonna pen everything under the sun, except for the Yamato. So there's that. You've got really good range if you take the range module. Take the range module. You could go reload too if you want, seriously though. And it's got pretty decent bow plating here. 27mm. 27mm means it can be lull penned by the Yamato and by the Republic. So again, just like before, I was saying before, give them that, give them like this profile, and then like this one, and then turn in and bait them to hit your armored belt. You could do this and then turn out, but that's a little dangerous because you can turn out too far and take pen damage. You have to be really careful though, because if you show a flat angle to this armor belt here, I'm gonna drop this for a second, and guess what? Where is it? There. Boom! Right into the citadel. See that? So you have to be really careful with that. So yeah, so the Hindenburg force very strong. Des Moines, oh man, this thing is phenomenal at sitting someplace and daring the enemy to push it. It's very good for defense. It's not good for offense, it's good for defense. Okay, you want to be backing up and force them to push you, because your front guns, especially with reload mod, just do stupid things to people that push you. That being said, if you show a battleship this, you're going bye-bye. Okay? It can be overmatched by everything. Zhao. Zhao's got one of those weird armor schemes that troll. It trolls me more than it trolls the enemy. In that I get citadels all the time. When I take the Zhao, when I fight a Zhao in a battleship, I can't seem to citadel. It's thing worth crap. So I don't know. It is what it is. It's got really good HE, pretty good range. You can HE spam, play it like an Atago. Up close, the AP is incredible, and so you can penetrate Hindenburg and Citadel Hindenburg. You can Citadel Moskva, Des Moines, Henri with a broadside shot, and your concealment gets down to like 9.7 question mark. Yeah. So that's very, very handy. So Zhao can be fun. My problem with Zhao, oh, and it's got of course the 8-kilometer torpedoes with the F3. My problem with the Zhao, though, is I feel like if I'm playing the Zhao, I'm playing far on the sidelines and the flanks and all that. I'd rather have a Hindenburg and just not care. Again, that's just me, my style. Moskva, very strong. But penetrated very easily from the side. Bow is actually pretty narrow of a ship, so that's kind of fun. But it's got a gigantic turning radius, so it's going to be very hard to dodge torpedoes in it and that sort of thing. It's got really nice radar, sure, but the problem is that even with concealment, it gets detected pretty darn far out. I think this guy's got concealment. Yeah, he does. See? 13.8 kilometer. And the radar is 11.7. So that means you're detected and you can't use the radar. Des Moines, you get detected. You've got a kilometer before you can use your radar, I believe. Yeah, just about a kilometer. You go to Minotaur, and Minotaur 8.9, and radar is 9.9. So guess what? You can detect things. That's why radar Minotaur is fun. Henri the Fourth. This is the ultimate like long range flank ship. It's got amazing guns, 240mm guns, biggest for cruisers. With AP, this thing can really hurt ships that are broadside to it. HE is pretty fun. It's got the ability to auto bounce because of spaced armor. So if I pull this away, if I pull, what is it, this, come on, this away, you'll notice that here you've got this torpedo bulge, and the side here, right here, this armor belt, and then underneath you've got the citadel plating. So you basically have two armor checks for whether or not a shell will penetrate. I've bounced Montana shells with this thing. just grinned like a dumb idiot every time. Because look, 30mm armor, which means it can't overmatch. So yeah, that's kind of nice. It's also got 9km torpedoes. It's got the speed boost and all that kind of stuff. That being said, just like the Zao, I don't see it being as effective. Hindenburg, at least you can charge in and do things, and switch to AP and torp things in the face and all that kind of stuff. Whereas Henri, I feel like when you start getting close, unless it's a 1v1 scenario, you can get punished hard. So the cruisers, especially at tier 10, like I said, very hard to play. I don't see a lot of people playing cruiser at ranks 5 to 2. Destroyers! Gearing is a mainstay ship. You're going to see two kinds of gearing players. One is the gearing kaze. These are people that spam torpedoes at maximum range and expect to do things. Please don't be a gearing kaze. And then the other kind, the ones that go in and cap and use their smoke to smoke up cruisers and battleships and that sort of thing. Please be the second. That being said, gearing is fat. Gearing is high up on the waterline compared to Yu Yang. And yeah, so I don't know. Personally, I don't know that I'd want to take a gearing. You can though. Kaba. Oh boy, I love me some Kaba. Kaba's fun. Kaba is just like Kiev, long range, spammy spam. But look at your range. 13.5 is your max range for the AFT. 13.5 is pitiful compared to the Kiev has its what, 14.7. So what does that mean? That means that it's going to be harder for you to stay at range. I need to make this a favorite ship here. It's going to be 14.7. So it's going to be harder for you to stay at range and spam shells and that sort of thing. You have to get closer. The closer you get to ships, the easier it is for them to hit you. Even if you've got your speed boost going and you're doing your stupid 48 knot thing. Just putting that out there. The other thing that the Kappa has going against it is the 50mm plating. And why is that? Because that means that this 50mm will trap battleship AP shells, and the battleship AP shells will penetrate and explode and do penetration damage. Whereas other destroyers, like, maybe not so much the gearing, but let's say the Z52, that shell would go straight through one side and out the other and overpen and just do what, the 10% damage instead of 33% of damage. So Kaba can take some nasty, nasty hits because of that. Against enemy destroyers, yeah, the 50mm plating means that it takes less damage from AP and also from HE shells, but there's that too. Also, because of the armor plating, if you're going up against a Minotaur, you can actually bounce an awful lot of shells, which is kind of fun and trollish too. But just putting that out there, that's one of the challenges that you're going to face with a Kava. It's got the heel, which is nice. It's got 6km torpedoes though, which, just like the Kiev, aren't as good. So I don't know. I want to say the Kava is going to be a lot of fun to rank out. I don't know. We'll have to see. First time for everything. Z52, a really good capture point bully, just like the Lo Yang at tier 8. Very good hydro, good torpedoes that reload really quick. It's got good AP, very good reload speed. So this ship is going to be a good ship. It's going to be fun. Very competitive. Yu Yang it's got deep water torpedoes, again, in a ranked situation where you're only hitting cruisers and battleships with deep water torpedoes. Remember I said at rank 5 to 2, it's mainly going to be battleships and destroyers. You're eliminating one potential source of your damage with your torpedoes. So that's going to be a potential problem. However, radar means that you can radar things outside of your detection. And with the radar module, that's 28 seconds of radar upgrade. So that's good. But the problem is you don't want to engage with your guns, because you engage with your guns, you get spotted, then you get blapped. So I don't know. You ain't going to be an interesting decision for people to take. I'm not sure that it's going to be a good one. Shimakaze. Shimakaze can be a real threat, especially now that her detection was reduced so much now. You know, couple that with F3s or the whatever these 12-kilometer torps are, and she's gonna be fun. Please don't take the 20-kilometer torps. She'll be, of course, the ultimate knife fighter, that sort of thing, but I don't know. I would, again, personal. I would rather take the Z52 over Shimakaze. And then we have the Grozavoy, which, aside from defensive fire, doesn't really offer that much over a Kavrask. Even worse firing range. 11 kilometers? It's a joke. It's a complete joke. Can I upgrade that? I don't think I can. Nope. God, I don't see it. All right, guys, I just went through all of the ships, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna talk about the maps, and I'm gonna talk really quick about them. And oh, I have to make my great battle. All right, great battle. Here we go. So I'm going to tab back out and take a look at the page. There it is. All right, I'll walk you through the tier 8 maps, and then we'll go from there. Neighbors, I freaking hate this map, although I think they're changing it now. Neighbors, ranked battle, domination. Oh, well, it doesn't show the caps. That sucks. I don't want to take the time to go into every single one of these. So here's the thing about ranked battles and neighbors. Everybody always says, oh, let's go this way. Then they go that way. And then there's a team that flanks around the side. And then they go, oh my God, we're surrounded. And they all die. So neighbors is going to require a lot of communication. You have to be very careful, because this island in the center here can be used by you and against you very easily. So that's my take on neighbors. I hate neighbors in ranked. Northern Lights, which is basically north. Another map that I absolutely freaking hate in ranked. So of course they keep bringing it up. Why do I hate it? Because this island everybody camps behind, and this side tries to push, they get slaughtered. This side tries to push, they get slaughtered. You get the idea. It turns out to who has the point lead first. Radar ships, especially at tier 10, can just sit back here and radar and radar and radar, and it's just the most stagnant, boring gameplay that I have ever seen. So I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Hotspot. Hotspot's been, I don't know. Hotspot, where are you, Hotspot? There you are. Hotspot, you've got your cap here, C cap, which, you know, becomes an issue. So, you know, there's islands you can hide behind and camp. If you're Z23 or Lo Yang or any other destroyer with Hydro, this can be a very fun place for you to play. But I don't know. Hotspot is a challenging map to play. Sea of Fortune. I hate Sea of Fortune. Do you notice how I'm saying I hate all these maps? Oh God, Sea of Fortune. All right, Sea of Fortune. The problem with Sea of Fortune is if you go on the west side, if you go up this side, guess what? You are out of the battle for like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. So you have to be careful. You have to be very careful going through the channel. You'll get blapped. So that leaves like this part of Sea of Fortune only for people to go and fight over. So I don't like it. And then finally, Mountain Range. I have no idea why they're putting this at tier 8. I still hate it at tier 10, but the problem with this map is it's so freaking large. It's a huge map. And then, you know, you've got this large area out here that people go and fight over and stuff. And then you've got your cap points over here that, you know, destroyers can go into. But I don't know. It's too big of a map. The problem with domination, you go off by yourself on or not domination, and whatever this is, mountain range. You go off by yourself in this map, and you come into contact with like 2 or 3 enemy ships, you're dead. Like you're just gone. So that's a big problem that I have with this map. And by extension, if you play by yourself, that's an issue. At tier 10, it's a little bit more manageable because your gun ranges are farther, and your torpedo ranges too. But I still don't like it. Land battles, it's a real struggle. So all right, so that's mountain range, tier 10. Warrior's Path. Warrior's Path is an interesting battle layout because, again, just like in Sea of Fortune, if you go over here, you're out of the game for a long time. So the only people that should be going to here are the flanking ships, like the Henry IV or the Khabarovsk with speed flags that can get there and then get around behind the enemy. That's it. Everybody else should be over here. What's next? Oh, hotspot again? All right, well, I already talked about hotspot. Same thing. Oh god, sleeping giant. Sleeping giant. It's a trap. It's a trap. Where is it? There it is. This is the trap. You go in here, you die if you're a destroyer. High risk, high reward. If you're gonna play a Khabarovsk and you get into here, you made so many mistakes. Grozovoy, tons of mistakes. I mean, yeah, don't go in here. This is for radar. This is for hydro. This is for you know, ships that can get in and get out, and that's not that's not a lot of ships. Over here is also challenging. In the middle is very challenging. It's just a hard map that will punish you. Tiers of the players has been changed several times. And they finally got rid of the island, the land mass up here. So basically, it's a giant turtle now, and I don't know. It's another really large map, just like Warrior's Path, just like all the other ones at tier 10. And to be honest, it's actually smaller now. But anyway, it's still one of those maps you have to be careful. The key is always in this part right here. You have to own B cap, and you have to win it. You can do that and hold it, you're good. Okay, camp on this side of the island with radar. You know where they are. But it's out of all those maps that I'm looking at, it's probably going to be my favorite map. I hate to say it. I really hate to say it, but it's going to be my favorite map. And there's your maps. So general strategies, I told you before. Be ready to hit the battle button. Be ready to play a lot of battles. Saving a star sure is a thing, but just play to have fun and do damage and do things. Try not to be toxic in chat. Try to, you know, at least ask people for help. Use the F keys to target opponents and that sort of thing. I think that's all stuff that's gonna help. So that's my tip for that. What else? You know, think about what works best for you and play what works best for you. Feel free to look at other people and their builds and all that kind of stuff. I will tell you that I wasted so much time and effort and brain power wondering if I was in the right ship and all that kind of stuff. You know, don't be afraid to try new ships, but boy, be very careful not to waste a ton of time and lose a bunch of games taking ships that you just aren't going to want to play. The nice thing is, I'm really excited that tier 10 is now irrevocable, or rank 10, because now, once I hit that, I at least am at tier 10, and I'm at least playing other ships, and I can play with these ships and afford to lose and bounce off that irrevocable rank thing. Another thing I want to mention real quick is that if you've got a ship that you play really well and enjoy, you might want to consider spending some doubloons and getting the permanent camo for it, simply because of the credit reduction capabilities that come with it. If you're a baller and you've got tons of credits, then don't worry about it. If you've got premium, don't worry about it. But most people don't. And you're going to need the ability to play ranked, and again, spam games. If you're the person that's going to be spending 1,000 games to rank out, I just want you to think of for a second. Worst case scenario, you do not have camo. You do not have you do not have flags or premium. Let's say you're going to lose 150,000 credits per game at tier 10, taking Yamato out and doing dumb things and just dying. You're going to multiply that by, let's call it 800 battles. You better have 120 million credits ready. Oh, and by the way, that's not taking into account your premium consumables and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it is. I don't know. But you get where I'm going with this. Having that permanent camo might really help save your butt. If you don't, then maybe consider camo like Gamescom that gives you an awful lot of credits, right? So think of that. But honestly, this season more than any other season, you really need to manage your credits. And think about that for the long term. That's really important. All right, I want to talk to you real quickly, and then I'm done because it's been about an hour now. I want to talk to you about how to choose the ship that you're going to choose, and that's honestly, it's up to you how you want to do it. I've tabbed out of the game right now, and what I'm gonna do is can I drop? I'm gonna drop that for a second, just so you have something to look at. Can I do this actually? What happens if I do that? Oh, I move this up. Work. No. Display capture. Doesn't want to work. Oh, because I'm in World of Warships. All right, let me try exiting out the game. Off. On. Why are you not working? Display capture. Capture cursor. Okay. That means you should be working. Unless there's something above it. If I hide this, you get nothing. Add. Display capture. Make source visible. Why are you not working? Ugh. And I maybe capture. And I'm just gonna spend a moment or two on this, and if it don't work, guys, I'm just gonna give up, okay? Just putting that out there. I'm gonna add browser source. Oh, okay, so that's no. I don't want to do that. Go away. Somewhere somebody is just screaming at me right now. That's okay. What if I do game capture? And then capture any specific window. Window will be word, wow, calculator. Seriously, I can capture my calculator? Nope. All right, I'm wasting a lot of time here on this, so I'm just gonna, I think, give up on this.
Greetings, Twitch.
No, that's not gonna help. Screen only. Hey, there we go. Found it. All right. Excuse me while I close out of a bunch of things that aren't gonna matter. All right. Is this gonna matter? No. 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 Warships.today. All right. So here's what I'm going to do if I'm looking at I think, can you guys see this? I think you can. What's the other one? Stats. Wow, stats. What is it? Wow's numbers. Here we go. All right. So I'm gonna take a look at my stats. All right, as a player, and I want to find out a few things. I want to find out what works for me, and I want to find out, kind of what doesn't work for me, essentially. All right. So I'm gonna go down to here. I'm gonna set. I don't care about tier 8. I know I'm gonna get up to tier 10. So I'm gonna go to tier 10 right off the bat. I'm gonna sort by WTR, and my Shimakaze WTR is phenomenal with 1 battle. Okay. My Grozovoy WTR is phenomenal with 13. I'm not gonna play those. My Gearing WTR is high. WTF? Moskva? Kaparask? So what I'm getting at is I might look at these 3 ships here, say, okay, are these good? Hindenburg is good too. Z52 is good, and then it drops from there. See the big drop? So that tells me these are the ships that I want to consider playing in ranked. Personally, these are the ones that I do well with. I could also sort by win rate if you want. Here's the ships that I win with when I play. Okay, cool. Yay, I win a lot. But I mean, does that mean I want to play midway if my WTR is 1100? You know what I mean? So that's one consideration. I might also look at battles. What ship do I like to play a lot? Oh, I like to play the Hindenburg. Okay, cool. I'll play the Hindenburg. Or I like to play the Kava. I'll play the Kava or the Conqueror. See what I mean? You can do it that way too. And then I recommend you also check the other stat site, because the other stat site can give you different numbers. They have their personal rating, which is factored a little bit differently. So I can go to 10 as well. And I can look at tier 10, and I can go by personal rating. And oh, there's that phenomenal Shimakaze game that I guess I had. Grozovoy, and by the way, those were 20-kilometer torps. Anyway, Grozovoy, yeah, I could do, no, I'm not going to do Grozovoy. Kava, interestingly enough, is higher. So I'm going to do this. Watch this. I'm going to go side-by-side comparison. Go down to Hindenburg. Wait, WTR. All right, and scroll down. So we have Shimakaze, Grozovoy, and then Kava does better than Gearing. Very interesting. All right, Gearing is below, and then Hindenburg. Hindenburg is above Moskva. Look at Moskva's place. All right, so what that tells me is that these are good ships for different reasons, and I need to be thinking about what those reasons are and how I'm using them. And then look again, we've got in this case a 300-point drop off between the Z52 and the Des Memes, and there's the Yamato at enterprise levels and below. You'll notice the Yamato isn't even on my list here. So honestly, that's how I'm going to narrow this down. I'm going to immediately discount these 2 ships because 1, I haven't played that many battles, and 2, I don't feel that confident in the Grozovoy, even though I've got a good, rate, good scores. Remember, these are random battle statistics, so that might or might not mean anything. So that's where I'm going to start. And notice it's cruisers and destroyers. The first battleship is the Yamato for here. Now, if I go on this one, my first battleship isn't until the 2nd page, and that's the Conqueror, which is all the way down here. Okay. So what does that tell me? That tells me that I'm probably going to want to play a destroyer, or maybe even try playing a cruiser in ranked. I don't know. I could play battleship, but I don't like how my stats are kind of crappy in them. So anyway, guys, I hope that this talk has helped. I mean, remember, did you learn that in ranked battles? That's up there for a reason. And it's like ranked deception, like right now. Ooh, this is kind of cool. Anyway, leave some thoughts. Tell me what ships you want to take. Tell me if you think I'm right or dead wrong on things. That's fine. But like I said, go out there, play the game, have fun, enjoy it, look at it for what it is. It's something different. It's something that you can enjoy playing that's different, okay? And you know what? If you're not having fun, go back to randoms. Do something else. Div up with people. That's cool. Do what you want. But you know, it's all good. All right, I'm cutting this now. Take care, guys. See y'all later. Bye bye.